the 2K Sports pregame show.
Okay, basketball fans, with me, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. You're watching 2K Sports, but you know that already. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the Dallas Mavericks. For Dallas, coming off a loss in the first game of the season, they'll no doubt be anxious to put tonight's contest in the win column and avoid an 0-2 start. And tonight, we get to see DeAndre Jordan. Kenny's come a long way since being drafted in the second round back in 2008.
Man, I can't believe he's been in the league over a decade. That's amazing. Either you're getting old or he's
I'm not getting old. I'm not aging at all.
One of you guys are getting old. But he went from a project to an NBA All-Star.
Excellent defender, excellent rebounder. Most of his points come within 5 feet of the basket. Drafted in the second round. But guess what? Kenny's got the $200 million.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us.
The crowd is assembled at the American Airlines Center looking for a Mavericks win here in downtown Dallas. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony. We'll be catching up in a bit from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Last outing for Minnesota, they won that game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And just one look at the score tells you all you need to know. They were dominant in just about every area.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
I think, Greg, you can't expect to win with that kind of effort. The defense was nowhere to be found, and it cost them all night long.
And we've got time for a quick pregame report. With that being said, let's head to the sideline and our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. DA?
Hey, Kev. Well, Rick Carlisle is a coaching graybeard. He's entering his second decade as coach of the Mavericks. He led them to the franchise's first and only title in 2011. Now, Eric Spoelstra lost that series to Carlisle, and he says of him, he's a Hall of Famer, a trailblazer as president of the Coaches Association. We all owe him a great deal. Kevin?
He is a legend. Thank you, D.A. Doors when the light finally goes on for a young guy. So fun to watch. Younger players who've got all the talent and all the world right in front of them, but yet haven't put it all together just quite yet.
It's amazing to me how quickly we can give up on a young guy who maybe doesn't find success right out of the gate. But the reality is you have to remember, player development is the lifeblood of this league, maybe now more than ever with the current state of the salary cap. So a little patience as a fan base goes a long, long way.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Gibson plays the 4 with Towns in the middle. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. And it's Teague in at the 1 spot.
Well, he's got the wide shoulders, the natural balance. Andrew Wiggins taking the hit and finishing.
Doncic kicks to Matthews. Good on the shot. Well, it was the Dallas Mavericks in their last game, a loss to Phoenix. Here's Butler. Rebound by Smith. Matthews against Butler. And Matthews gets it to go.
The defense surrounding Matthews, he doesn't care, just looks so comfortable inside.
Outside Teague. Fades. That one wide left. Butler against Matthews. Jordan the screen. Matthews into the lane. And there's the pass to Powell. Jordan sets the pick for Smith over Teague. It's rebounded by Towns.
Yeah, you love the solid screen, but what you hate is just the inability to finish.
Well, you know, that's okay, I think. Even though they miss, they still have to be happy with the shot selection.
If you give Teague enough room out there beyond the arc, he won't hesitate to make you pay.
There's the pick. Now, here's Doncic. He's covered closely. Smith inside. Teague covering. And the rejection by Towns. Here's Wiggins. The shot's good on the assist by Butler.
Well, right now, Andrew Wiggins understanding in the catch and shoot, they can't guard him.
Smith kicks to Powell. Back to Smith. Powell with the screen. Smith the pass to Doncic. 6 to shoot. Over Wiggins. And he overshot that one, missing.
Just a little hesitation on that release, right? His timing looked a bit off.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
You know, guys, you think about Jimmy Butler, drafted by the Chicago Bulls, and he goes from bench warmer to star. And I always had the sense that once Tom Thibodeau was no longer a part of the Chicago Bulls organization, that Jimmy Butler's days might be numbered there as well. But I think the trade ended up working for both teams.
That free throw good from Butler. And Doris, the Bulls are trying to change the culture, more run and gun. That new style didn't really mesh with Butler's approach.
Right. You remember, Jimmy Butler is a Tibbs disciple. Even he has said perhaps he was too confrontational. With that obsessive drive of his, it can sometimes maybe rub people the wrong way. I think he's trying to balance that intensity with positivity with this young group. There's that accurate touch of his at the stripe. He is locked in.
Pass to Powell. To the paint. It's tipped. Here's Butler. And he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
And not just sustaining the lead, they're adding to it.
Right, and this is precisely what you want to do. Build up the lead and keep the pressure on.
Now here's Powell. He's coming off a 13-point game against Phoenix.
He was active all night on the defensive end as well. With all the steals he came away with, he had him totally rattled.
Chalk up 2 there. And it's 6 points for Wesley Matthews. Minnesota leading by 5. Towns the screen. T kicks to Towns. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Well, while we have a second, let's go to the 2K leaderboard for a list of the league's top shooters from last season. DeAndre Jordan is second.
Put the ball in the bucket. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? I mean, just ask him. He'll have the answer for you.
To the paint. The shot, no good. Towns with the defensive effort. Matthews against Butler. And Teague has it in the corner. Shot clock at 5. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Jeff Teague replacing Ricky Rubio at the point guard position for the Timberwolves. Doris, did you like that change?
You know what I did, Kevin? They're drastically different players. Rubio probably the better defensive player, definitely the more prolific passer, but the shooting was always an issue. Where with Teague, you get a guy who can knock down three-point shots, and he's one of the best point guards in the league at dribble driving into the paint and getting some action off that.
First free throw is good.
Well, there's so much value in how Jeff Teague runs an offense. He's got great speed. He plays hard on both ends of the floor. I think any organization would be lucky to have this guy.
So he picks up just 1 from the line that time. And you look at Jeff Teague, now with a decade in the league out of Wake Forest. Greg, what does he bring to the table aside from the fact that he's been in the playoffs every single year of his career?
Yeah, I mean, he's an explosive slasher and really has grown as a playmaker. Not a star, but a quality starting point guard. And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. Last game matchup with the Suns, a tough loss there.
And, you know, this can happen on the road. You're out defending guys who have just gotten into a comfort zone playing at home.
No passion on the defensive end. Didn't look completely engaged. Really need to lock in and be focused on these road games.
And so it's Dallas with it. 7-point differential. Now, here's Doncic, covered by Wiggins. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls.
And just clever at creating space off the screen. Doncic is someone you can't afford to lose sight of in these situations.
Now, here's Wiggins. Against Cleveland, he was really on his game. And it's Butler missing. The Mavericks have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. Poked loose. Here's Smith. It's good.
And I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders.
Timberwolves leading by 3. Towns the screen. Over Jordan. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
Well, so effective with that jump shot. Karl Anthony Towns is a problem on the offensive end.
The Mavericks have gotten 6 of 11 shots to go down so far. Pretty nice shooting. Now, here's Doncic. Defense is right there. Begins with the block, and he recovers it. Shot clock at 6. Smith kicks to Powell. That's a 2 from Matthews. Misses off the right iron. Minnesota's gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. Outside Teague. Pass to Towns. And he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
Oh, that's a strong finish. And Karl Anthony Towns will go to the line, try to put the cherry on top.
Karl Anthony Towns, a tremendously talented scorer, but Dorsey came into the league billed as a potentially foundational defensive player.
And that's interesting, Kevin, because that's the end of the floor where he has work to do. You know, there's so much asked of today's centers, but with mentors like Kevin Garnett, Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler, you know he's getting the right advice. And boy, what a gifted offensive player Karl Anthony Towns is.
The free throw drops for Towns. Year after year, the Timberwolves have the NBA's most grueling travel schedule. A lot of miles to cover in the West.
Kevin, if you add up their flights in a season, they could circle the globe more than twice. And let's remember, there's no frequent flyer miles here either.
Now here's Wiggins. Passes it to Butler. With the fadeaway. It's rebounded by Dallas.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Knocked away and stolen by Jang. All alone, and Towns throws it down.
And when you build a big lead like this, especially early, you have to guard against the letdown.
No, exactly right. You can't afford to get complacent, right? They have to stay hungry and humble if they want to keep this lead.
And so it's Dallas with it after the basket by Minnesota.
And you look at J.J. Barea and how he's played over the years. Has always been a spark plug for a team off the bench. Just plays with energy and creativity no matter the situation.
And with Barea and what he brings to the table, Greg, he also takes care of the ball.
A lot of guards who are bench threats can get a little sloppy or careless with the ball. And Barea has been upping his assists and cutting his turnovers the last few seasons.
Take a break.
Still finding ways to be effective even after a decade in the league.
That free throw good from Barea.
Well, how about the guy, undrafted, undersized guard out of Puerto Rico? What a career J.J. Barea has made for himself.
Dallas making a switch here. Harris is checked in. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for the Timberwolves. Dang comes in for Andrew Wiggins. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. The Dallas Mavericks last season could not have been more disappointing, Doris.
Well, you think about management for this organization, Kevin. They had tried to avoid a rebuild. But at some point, every franchise probably has to go through it. And one of the things you must have in a rebuild is patience.
He got right to the cup using that screen. Rose has got his first basket.
I don't know if you can do it any better on both ends than they have tonight.
I don't think you can ask for anything more, Greg. What a wonderful job establishing a lead early in this one.
Dallas calls timeout.
And unfortunately, injuries will always be the concern with Derrick Rose. Still loves the game of basketball, knows he is limited compared to what he once was. Amazing with all he's fought through, he can still perform at such a high level.
Kleba, the pass to Doncic. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And with Rose, as you said, his love of the game is still there, and he still wants to play.
I mean, many players would have just walked away from having their body betray him. But Rose said last season he loves what he gets to do and still would be a water boy if he had to. You have to admire Rose's attitude and approach in that regard.
2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. You know, Doris, for a long time, few people realized how efficient the three-point shot can be, the extra point making such a difference. Why do you think it took a while for that thought process to hold?
Well, I think obviously we have advanced metrics. And the reason we have advanced metrics is there are more ways to monitor the things that happen between the lines, right? There are cameras everywhere. We can track people's data via computer programs. But I think one of the interesting things to me, Kevin, is that Steph Curry really has changed the logistics of what defines a quality shot. Here's a guy who steps across half court, and when he does, he's in range. So the influence of Steph Curry cannot be understated.
Great example. Now here is Harris, following the miss by Derrick Rose. Kleba, no good.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus, not good.
Barea against Rose. Shot off the screen. He can't get that one. Now Dallas takes it the other way. Now here's Doncic. Last time out he had 14 points.
And looking at Luka Doncic, incredibly mature for his age. Physically, the broad shoulders, weighing in about 230. Mentally, though, advanced understanding of how to play the game.
You know, Greg, it's amazing that Doncic, at his age, could already have such a complete offensive game.
I mean, a terrific skill set. In Europe, Doncic spent plenty of time as a primary ball handler. Obviously can score in a number of ways, just a versatile threat.
The first free throw is good.
And what's so impressive about Doncic, the maturity. Yes, he's polished, but he's got a completeness to his game at such a young age.
He's off on the second.
I think the trade for Jimmy Butler and other veteran signings accelerated the Wolves' rebuild. They are in much more of a win-now mentality.
And he's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming up.
I'd say J.J. Barea has the ball on a string. Listen, we know he's got a diminutive size, but his movements on the dribble, that's a big man's game.
And Doris, Jimmy Butler with an opt-out after this season. Pressure on Minnesota to prove this team can be a winner.
And Kevin, their flexibility is a little bit hamstrung by their max contracts. They're going to need to find some value pickups and develop from within.
One shot.
That free throw good from Barea.
Guys, how about J.J. Barea? In his 12th year in the NBA, no less, he establishes career highs across the board and does nothing but get better with age. I love it.
Now here's Jang. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Rose kicks to Zhang. Dang for 3. Measuring with the rebound. And Barea now in his second run with Dallas. Won an NBA title with the team, you may recall, back in 2011.
Well, he was critical in that title run, Kev, and now he's trying to help this organization rebuild. This guy, a clear fan favorite. And it's incredible to me. He seems to be getting better with his age.
And Luka Doncic, not the top pick in the draft this past June, but one of the more exciting names out of this rookie class.
Dallas made a point to trade up and draft him. Doncic not playing in the Summer League as he has had a hefty workload in Europe before the draft. Still came away with Euro MVP honors, and at his age, that is incredible.
Two shots.
That free throw good from Doncic.
In today's NBA, we like to talk about that three-point shot. Well, the Dallas Mavericks, believe it or not, took the 4th most in the NBA last year.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And the Mavs, Doris, not only took a lot of threes, they made a lot of threes.
Well, when you have shooters, the likes of Dirk Nowitzki, Wes Matthews, Doug McDermott, the list goes on, three-point shooting was the least of their worries last season.
Here's Barea. The shot goes down, and it gets this game back to even. Barea's got 7 points.
Boy, what touch. You know, a lot of guys don't have the kind of feel necessary to make the floater.
Zhang, a screen. Butler kicks to Zhang. Back to Butler. Over Harris. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Here's the screen. Rose against Barea. Sweet little floater. 9 points in the game so far.
They are just killing them on the interior.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
I think the one constant with Tom Thibodeau is you can always hear his voice the entire game. Doesn't matter if you're up 20 or down 20, you will hear Tom Thibodeau on the sideline.
Tyus Jones, he's checked in for Butler.
All right, a chance to see some stats for Barea. How he did last season. Averaged about 11 points a game, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. And with his great passing, he's been a catalyst for their offense, often seeing plays even before they materialize.
There's no doubt about that. Great anticipation, excellent peripheral vision. His talents are really shining through.
Now here's Dang. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. They need this one. It's rebounded by Dallas. Now Doncic, 7 points in the game. Kleba kicks to Doncic. It's stolen by Rose. And now here comes Dang, leading the break. And the layup's good off the glass. Tang's got it all tied up now for Minnesota.
And very little defense here to start the game.
Boy, both teams rolling right now on the offensive end. We got a little barn burner cooking.
Now here's Barea. 20 points for him last game against the Suns in Phoenix. Kleba kicks to Barea over Rose. Barea, no good.
And on the glass so far, it hadn't even been close.
Rose passes to Dang. Rose against Barea. Jang a screen. There's the pass to Jones. The three will return shortly. Wesley Matthews in his 4th season with the Mavericks, talking about what attracted him to Dallas in the first place.
They showed the most faith in me. You know, they weren't scared off by the injury. They showed faith in the person that I was, the player who I was, and, you know, they saw a need for me, a championship franchise and, you know, a great city, so it was just a match.
Coming off that Achilles injury in Portland, Dallas wasn't shy offering him, Greg, that big contract.
And he's now in a contract year. We'll see if he continues to be a part of their long-term plans.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And what do you think, guys, about Dallas here in this one?
I mean, so far they're not settling for outside shots, really attacking the paint.
I think that's what you've got to do, right? If the looks on the interior are there, you have got to attack.
On the court for the Timberwolves as our second quarter is underway. We've got Dang. Rose is out there with Jones. And there's Anthony Tolliver. And it's Jang in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, the Mavericks were ecstatic when Dennis Smith Jr. fell to them with the 9th pick of the 2017 draft. For a team in need of athleticism and size at the point guard, it's been a hand-in-glove fit. The 6'3" Smith has a 48-inch vertical, one of the highest ever measured.
A terrific young player, an elite NBA athlete. David, that's for sure. Good stuff, thanks. Here's Jones after Luka Doncic's bucket. Outside Dang. From the stripe. Off the left rim and out.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
And Doncic gets it to go.
And certainly not lacking in confidence. When Doncic gets these inside looks, he just jumps all over.
Jones kicks to Zhang. He dishes it to Rose. And the call will be against Harris. That's his first foul. And some changes here for the Mavericks. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Mejri. Dwight Powell comes in for Maxi Kleba. And it's Dennis Smith in for Harris. Minnesota also with the sub. Teague's checked in for Derrick Rose. Dang passes to Tolliver. Zhang a screen. And that's a foul. Called on Dwight Powell. That is his first foul of the game. Some changes for Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Zhang. Gibson comes in for Anthony Tolliver. And Andrew Wiggins is subbed in for Luol Deng. And that's a foul. Called on Dwight Powell. That's foul number 2 for him.
Guys, that's number 2 on him. And they do not need him to sit right away. But one more foul before the half, and he'll be headed to the bench.
Quarter number 2, we're about 2 minutes in. Jones drives in. Towns. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's going to be on DeAndre Jordan.
Make no mistake, Karl Anthony Towns has all the skills necessary to be amongst the best players in the league. What a problem he poses for defenses, guys.
And he knocks down the first one. Well, court vision, Dora, is one of those intangible skills. You had it when you played, and when it comes to seeing the floor, I'm sure you have people that impress you with the way they see what's going on.
Kevin, I feel very lucky and fortunate to have witnessed one of the seminal players of his generation and arguably the greatest passer in the history of the NBA, and that's LeBron James. I mean, this guy's ability to make any pass, to put a 50-foot pass on a rope from one side of the floor, maybe from the hash mark to the opposite corner, and put it in the shooting pocket of different players is mind-boggling. At the center spot, you've got the young and talented and pass-first center of Nikola Jokic. And then, of course, the man who, to me, for a 10-year stretch, was the best pure point guard in the NBA, and that's Chris Paul. And listen, historically, some of the guys I loved watching, Steve Nash, John Stockton. I loved Mo Cheeks. Listen, I'm very partial to men who want to distribute the basketball and who take special relish in watching guys score baskets off their work.
Now, here is Smith. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Phoenix. Powell with the screen. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Matthews has got the lead up to 2 now for the Mavs. Jones kicks to Gibson. Teague the pass to Towns. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen. And a look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Minnesota.
They have settled for a lot of 2-point jump shots here. It's a shot most defenses are willing to concede, and you can see why. Very hard to make a living here from that range.
And the foul called on Tyus Jones. That'll be his second foul of the game. Smith with a wide open look. No good on the quick 3. Minnesota shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. Here's Teague. That one a little long. For Dallas, they've gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. Matthews dishes to Barea. That's tipped and stolen by Wiggins. One-on-one here. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
Well, getting to the line at will nowadays. Wiggins wanting to improve his free throw percentage. Well, you think about Andrew Wiggins, guys, signing that max deal in 2017. Timberwolves ownership, though, wanted to sit down with Wiggins to hear him commit to being a better player. Pretty unusual stuff.
And the first one at the line is good. And on the heels of that contract extension, all of Andrew Wiggins' shooting percentages fell last season. Doris, you think a cause for concern for the Timberwolves?
Well, I think obviously, Kevin, anytime you've committed almost $30 million a season to one guy, the expectations are going to be sky high. For me, Andrew Wiggins needs to just stay consistent. We are talking about a guy with elite athleticism, plenty to take advantage on the offensive end. It's a question for me of, does Andrew Wiggins want to be great? Because the potential is there.
Now, here's Barea. 9 points in the game so far. Powell with the screen. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. For Minnesota, they've gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Towns kicks to Teague. Towns a screen on Barea. And it's slammed in by Teague.
Well, the big man, Taj Gibson, pretty assist there, Kevin.
The Mavericks trailing. Inside, Towns with the steal. And now Minnesota on the fast break. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Here's what the Minnesota Timberwolves have lined up on their schedule. On Monday, they'll head back home to host the Indiana Pacers. And then on Wednesday, they'll be matching up against Kyle Lowry and the Toronto Raptors.
And for the matchup with the Lakers, even though they should get the win, I would expect it to be a bit of a battle. Just because they are favored doesn't mean it's an automatic W.
Free throw good, Teague. For the Dallas Mavericks, it's been a rough couple years, but Doris, you get the sense that this lull is just temporary.
And the reason you think that's because when you combine great coaching with great management, you know you're going to make the right decision more often than not. So it's never easy to turn over an aging roster, but they hit big time on Dennis Smith Jr. And overall, I think the arrow is pointing up with this organization.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
Barea, the pass to Matthews. There's the pick. Smith outside. Barea against Jones. To the middle. Jordan kicks to Powell. Clock at 4. Barea, no good. Timberwolves leading by 4. Here's Wiggins. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. 8 points for Andrew Wiggins.
But defense can't do it much better than that. Andrew Wiggins, though, the wiry strength to convert off contact.
Jordan the screen. Matthews, no one around him. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. Minnesota with the ball. They've outscored them 10 points to 2 during this run. Dallas has gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Teague against Barea. And Matthews kicks to Powell. Powell with the screen. Here's the teardrop. The kick out to Matthews. Good on the three-point shot. Matthews has got 13.
And they may be leaning a little too heavily on the three-pointer when there are better looks to be had inside.
Towns a screen on Barea. A nice shot by Teague.
Well, I'll tell you what, impeccable work from Jeff Teague inside, showing great patience down in the lane.
Jordan with a screen on Jones. Smith kicks to Powell. Dishes it to Barea. Jordan the screen. And it's off the back rim, no good. Here's Towns. Whistle on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Well, the body control of Karl Anthony Towns, just a terrific job to take the hit.
And Karl Anthony Towns, one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the league, at least top 3 amongst all 7-footers. And his three-point percentage, elite as well, over 40%.
Minnesota making a switch here. Butler's checked in. And Towns said he'd emulate Kevin Durant as a kid playing on the perimeter at Kentucky. Cal made him play inside, work in the post, and use his size.
So going back to his roots with his three-point shooting, the association experiencing a three-point renaissance, and he really does fit the mold.
Dallas calls timeout.
And they're committing an awful lot of fouls here, and not of the good variety. You don't want to give up easy layups, sure, but it's been a non-stop parade to the foul line.
And the shot goes down.
Well, face up and drill it. JJ, more of a scorer than a pure shooter, but looks good that time.
Teague kicks to Wiggins. Pass to Butler. Gibson up top. Towns sets the pick for Wiggins. Another miss by Minnesota. Mavericks trail by 6. Pass to Jordan. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. That one is on Towns.
And that's what Jordan does best. An extremely lethal dunker.
And DeAndre Jordan, the all-time leader in career field goal percentage, Greg, by a sizable margin.
Yeah, the most prolific dunker in the league, maybe in league history.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Free throw good, Jordan. And DeAndre Jordan this last offseason opting out of his contract with the LA Clippers. He felt, Greg, obviously it was time to move on.
It didn't take long for Jordan to find a new home here in Dallas. Had almost signed with them last time he was a free agent. Closed the deal this time around. Still has a lot to offer and a really good fit for this team inside.
Here's Barea. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Right side Matthews. Over Wiggins. Misses off the right iron. Timberwolves leading by 5. Outside Butler. Towns against Jordan. Lets it go from the wing. Powell pulls it in.
Well, the defense trying to get out on him, but he's left with the open shot. He's got to make that one.
Here's Smith. Knocks it loose. Teague against Smith. And the refs are going to rule that unnecessary contact. It's a flagrant 1 foul.
Boy, a very hard foul that time, and the officials had to slap him with the flagrant. I mean, you can't let him get away with that kind of contact.
Yeah, gee, that's an easy call for the officials to make when there's that much contact. The league is really cracking down on those sort of plays. First free throw is good. And last summer, Minnesota's front office saying, Doris, they would like the Wolves to lean more on their bench.
It would be nice for Coach Tom Thibodeau to have the luxury of guys coming off the bench that he can trust. You've got to fortify the bench and then trust them to perform. I think when you talk about the Dallas Mavericks, it's not hard to think about the ownership. Driven, intelligent, committed, and the team has embodied those traits.
Doncic is checked in for Dallas. Harris comes in for Dennis Smith. Towns the screen. Lets a floater go. A nice shot by Teague. Teague's got 10 points now just in this quarter.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
And even though the Mavericks had a couple of bad years in a row, this franchise remains rock solid.
Well, think about they've had consistency from the top down. It's a pioneering organization that's always looking at the next innovation. And remember, they have a very strong fan base.
Now here's Teague after Luka Doncic's miss. Wiggins outside. 4 on the clock. Doesn't go that time. Mavericks trail by 9. Doncic with it. 11 points in the game. Jordan with a screen on Wiggins. Tries to snap the cold streak. He squares up and sinks it. And that's 13 points for Luka Doncic.
And boy, has he picked it up since the start of the second. His shots now starting to fall.
Teague the pass to Butler. Back to Teague. Kicks it out to Wiggins. Off target from outside.
Hey, we're not seeing the best quarter by this guy, and he's lost his feel a little bit.
Minnesota leading by 7. Outside Butler. Matthews with the steal. It doesn't go for him. Some solid defense from Butler. Harris against Teague. Sinks that one from the post. Teague's got 16.
I tell you, get the feeling he's only going to get better as this game wears on. That first quarter was good. His second quarter has been great.
Now here's Matthews. He's got 13 to the inside. Knocked away. Towns with the steal. Butler kicks to Wiggins. The putback, and it's Towns on the follow. And the Timberwolves lead by 11.
Now, I think they'll keep going to him more and more as they look to hang on to their lead. Why not with the way this guy is shooting it?
Outside Jordan. Harris a screen on Towns. Harris outside. 6 to shoot. Powell with the screen. Harris's shot is off.
And offensively, they've gotten stuck on the perimeter, falling in love with the jumper.
Doncic passes to Harris. Jordan the screen. Harris against Gibson. Here's Powell. Out to Harris. Jordan sets the pick for Doncic. And stolen by Wiggins. And counted. And a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Anticipation by Wiggins jumpstarts the fast break, and you'd think with his athleticism he'd pick up some more of these.
This is his second trip to the line in this one.
Did he lay an egg at the stripe in their previous game? Couldn't get anything to drop.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Mejri comes in for DeAndre Jordan. And it's Maxi Kleber in for Dwight Powell. And the free throw, no good.
Andrew Wiggins, the #1 overall pick back in 14. Great bloodlines, the son of pro athletes. The game just seems to come easy to him.
Boy, you can't pin their struggles today on him. He's been on fire from the field.
Wiggins, a screen on Harris. Rose in the post. Harris is there. Rose kicks to Zhang. Outside Butler. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
He's gone 2 for 2 at the line so far. Luol Deng is checked in for Minnesota.
One shot.
Free throw, good Butler.
Well, what you love about Jimmy Butler to me is he can carry an offense. He can also affect the game with his high-level defense. That is the rarest of rare combinations.
And here is Harris. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Here's Doncic. Nice D from Deng. And so that's the end of the first half. The Timberwolves on top, leading by 14. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing it, we can come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, Hoop fans. NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. EJ, Shaq, Jet. Jeff Teague playing terrific basketball in this one. He had 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's been playing extremely well lately and making some new highlights for us already in this one. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
The first half was all about Jeff Teague with the awkward-looking jumper. That quick release allows him to get it off, even though the defender might be close to him. Then off the dribble, Teague could get by you, get into the lane, and score against the best.
And Shaq, what did you see from Dallas?
This reminds me of myself. They're just giving away points from the free throw line. It's hard to keep pace when you keep putting guys on the line over and over. Being physical is fine, but they were out of control, way too reckless.
And that'll do it for us. The third quarter about to begin with Kevin Harlan standing by. We'll catch you on the flip side.
My brother.
The skyline of Dallas illuminating the night sky as we welcome you back to the Lone Star State. And And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. It's been one outstanding game from Jeff Teague.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him, a scoring machine here in that first half.
And it's mattered not, Greg, whether he's been spotting up or creating for himself. He was unstoppable, and you hope it carries over to the second half.
We begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, anything can happen. Mavericks trailed by 14. Smith and Matthews in the backcourt. Measury is out there with Dwight Powell, and it's Doncic in at the small forward position. So that's who Rick Carlisle starts the second half with.
And whether he's stepping back or spotting up, Smith Jr. is a threat to score, especially from the mid-range.
There's the screen. Teague dishes to Wiggins. Back to Teague. Down low, Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
This is exactly what you hope for from your point guard, Jeff Teague, unselfishly pulling all the right strings.
Here's Doncic. It's good, and it's his sixth make against 11 attempts.
Boy, I'll tell you, it takes a lot of confidence to go with the floater. That is not as easy as it looks.
Teague against Smith. Teague kicks to Wiggins. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got 6 assists in the game.
Boy, how explosively does Wiggins come off that screen? Not sure you can guard that.
Teague against Smith. Passes it to Powell. And the pass to Doncic. There's a screen. Shoots off the screen. He kicks to Smith. Pass to Doncic. Drills it from outside. Doncic has got 5 points now in the quarter.
Well, just tremendous awareness from Dennis Smith Jr. Recognizing a teammate is open. Let me make the game easy for him.
Pass to Butler. Now here's Wiggins. He's covered by Matthews. The Mavericks pull it in. Measury's got 5 rebounds tonight. And with that shot, the Minnesota lead is cut down to 10 on the bucket from Matthews.
80% shooting to start the third, 4 for 5.
Towns the screen. Teague kicks to Butler. Towns sets the pick for Butler. Off the screen. And the dunk by Towns.
Well, there's a willingness to mix it up on the glass, and that's a big plus for Karl Anthony Towns.
And the Mavericks call time here. And Doris, the Wolves, a lot of promise, but how do they deliver?
I think Tom Thibodeau says it best, Kevin. It's the little things. The magic is actually in the work you put in every day. No shortcuts, no easy way out. There's a price to be paid for winning in the NBA.
Dallas making a switch here. Berea's checked in. Timberwolves on defense. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. And stolen by Butler. And now the Timberwolves on the break. That one doesn't drop. And the Mavericks going the other way now.
This shot's just, it's not there right now with this team leading. Perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
I'll tell you, don't let the diminutive size fool you. This guy is not intimidated and can get his shot in the painted area.
Here's T. The Mavericks making the shot. Towns the screen. Teague against Smith. Towns a screen on Smith. And Teague, here we go. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. Teague's got 18 points in the game. They set the pick. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
And how about a look at Jimmy Butler? Last season, he played outstanding. He averaged 22 points per game last season, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. And he paced the whole team in points per game last season.
Well, his teammates understood that he was their best option. And understandably, Greg, they got him the rock.
Back to Teague. Outside, Towns. Towns sets the pick for Teague. And it's blocked. And they get it back. Out of bounds, Dallas will take possession. And a look here at the shot chart for Doncic.
Right now, after looking at that chart, you pretty much can just jog down the court. He gets it in the paint. Just time and time again, he's worked his way in close and made a shot over a defender or found another way to convert. Just great stuff coming from him thus far.
Now here's Barea after the miss from Karl Anthony Towns. Now here's Doncic, covered by Wiggins. And Doncic gets it to go. Doncic has got 7 now in this quarter.
And it just seems when Doncic turns it on, it's a sight to see. Incredible at scoring in a variety of ways.
And that one's good by Butler.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
You can tell they've got their foot on the gas pedal right now. No slowing down. The defense starting to look helpless.
Now here's Barea. 13 points in the game. Shot from free throw range. Rebound by Butler.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
Well, certainly a disappointing result, but they'll live with the shot. They'll take that every time.
Now Barea following the three-point attempt by Andrew Wiggins. The kick out to Teague. Offline with his 3. Mavericks trail by 12. Now here's Barea. There's the pick. In the corner, Powell with it. Just 5 to shoot. Powell with the screen. Steps back and fires. But they recover it. Kicks to Barea. Now here's Doncic. Tight defense on him. Gibson with the steal. Here's Wiggins. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Well, Andrew Wiggins is a talented prospect. On the offensive end, he is as scary as it gets.
This will be his 4th shot at the line in this one. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for the Mavericks. Maxi Kleber comes in for Dwight Powell. And then for Minnesota, Jang, he's checked in for Gibson. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague.
One shot, gentlemen.
Free throw good, Wiggins. Doris, what is your solution to the controversy surrounding one and dones?
Kevin, I believe the one and dones will be a thing of the past, and I think it will happen shortly. And the reason that can now become a viable option is the G League holds the key. You can now allow players to enter into the minor league straight out of high school. If they raise the salary of those G League players, then it helps across the board.
Now, here is Smith following the missed shot by Tyus Jones. And Barea has it in the corner. Count it. Good. Barea's got 15.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the mindset of Smith. Solid at running the offense and finding his teammates who are open.
Towns, the screen. Over Jordan. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
Boy, terrific defense to impact the shot, not giving him any space at all.
Jordan sets the pick for Barea. And Butler sends it back.
Boy, though he'll never be a blocks leader, Butler has the size and hops to do more of this.
Wiggins passes to Butler. Pulls up on the wing. Nice jump shot. Good. He's got 16.
Well, he's a guy that can adapt and adjust to any defense he's up against. It's really something to watch.
They set the pick. Off the screen. Here's Doncic. Up again. Great positioning on the putback.
And you want more of this from Doncic. He's good at reading shot trajectories. Love his aggressiveness.
Jones kicks to Butler. Add another field goal in his total. Make it 7 for 14, shooting 50%.
What a phenomenal quarter from the field. A great shooting percentage, excellent shots. This is really well done.
And Gorgui Dieng is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. Devin Harris has checked in for Dennis Smith. Anthony Tolliver, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Rose comes in for Andrew Wiggins. To the inside. Here's Harris. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. Timberwolves leading by 15. Right side, Butler. The dish to Rose. Jones, the pass to Dieng. Over Jordan. Dieng, no luck. Dallas has gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Jones against Harris. To the wing on the left. Now here's Barea. He's tightly guarded. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for 2. Barea's got 17.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against length.
And to me, that's all about the body control, right, Greg? I mean, he does such a stellar job sizing up his man and drains it despite having the size on him.
That'll be Minnesota as it goes out of bounds. Timberwolves retain possession. Wesley Matthews checked in for Dallas. Luol Deng is checked in for Minnesota. Here's Dieng. Releases from the wing and drills it. And the Timberwolves lead by 15.
Well, this is an excellent mid-range shooter. Dieng also likes to set his teammates from that spot.
Jordan the screen, and Matthews kicks to Harris. Here's the screen. 4 on the shot clock. Teardrop shot. He takes it up and lays it in. Harris has got his first basket.
I'll tell you, that's a graceful finish. Not just any old layup. The teardrop.
Here is Tolliver. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Ball's knocked loose. Dieng, the pass to Rose. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops.
It helps to have the basketball on a string, right? Derrick Rose handles the ball so well he can get anywhere he wants.
Jordan the screen. Doncic kicks to Kleba. And he's good on the 3-ball. Kleba's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Their three-point percentage has taken a big leap here in this second half.
Outside Deng. Dieng high post. Back to Deng. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Rose against Harris. Dieng, and that's collected by DeAndre Jordan. Jordan's got his 5th rebound in this one. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it seems every season new records are set for the number of three-pointers made and attempted. It's proven to be successful, and of course, it is a copycat league. It's hard to know why it took so long for everyone to catch on, but now that they have, the effects continue to ripple throughout the league.
They sure have, David. Thank you. Here's Rose. Count it. Good. Rose has got 4 this quarter.
I tell you, that's good defense. But Rose with the better shot-making ability, living it up on the interior.
And Matthews kicks to Kleba. Matthews against Jones. Now Matthews. He's got 15. That one goes in.
Well, effortlessly connecting on the mid-range jumper thanks to that quick release. Good work by Matthews.
Rose with the ball. He's got 8. From deep three-point range, no good. And so it's Minnesota ahead by 9 as the quarter comes to a close. They're feeling very confident, shooting the ball with great efficiency and dictating the pace. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Rick Carlisle had some words for his team. Let's hear what he had to say.
Hold your ground. Hold your ground. Your job is just to stay in front of this guy. No blow-bys.
Well, preaching strong defense there, GA.
I mean, basic fundamentals. He doesn't want to see anyone on his team get burned on that end.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up. 2K Sports, happy to have you with us. On the court for Minnesota, Gorgie Dang is out there with Anthony Tolliver. Then there's Derrick Rose. Then it's Jones. And it's Dang in at the 3, the small forward.
Well, in the rebounding game, at least, it's been a strong physical performance for him.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Jones, the pass to Rose. He dishes it to Jang. Launches it. That doesn't go either for Rose. Mavericks trail by 7. To the inside. Here's Matthews. And he drops it in from the low post. Matthews has got 19 points.
Well, Matthews not just a perimeter scorer now. He's not afraid to mix it up inside.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
There are certain guys that you identify as the prototypical 3-and-D player, and Wesley Matthews is one of those guys. I love that he prides himself on his ability to guard elite wings and the kind of deep range he has, even in critical moments of games. This guy's a big-time guy.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Measury, he's checked in for Maxi Kleba, and Smith subbed in for Harris. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. I listened to Tom Thibodeau talking to his team during the break. He was very adamant in the huddle. He said, don't let up now. Stay aggressive and do the things that have gotten us this far. We're almost there, guys.
Matthews, no good. Well, for Matthews, he does most of his offensive work from outside, but Doris has more to his game than just that.
Well, I think the thing that I think of when I think of Wesley Matthews is how hard this guy works. And yes, he started as an offensive perimeter threat, but he's dedicated himself to rounding out his game, and you love that from a veteran.
And the Mavericks with possession here, following the 3 by Minnesota. Doncic, no good.
Well, can't find the target, but good work to get into open space inside the arc.
Teague against Matthews. Feeds it to Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, Taj Gibson, a terrific athlete, easily gets off the floor to finish with authority.
Mavericks trail by 13. Screen by Smith. They set the screen. Halt the run. Dallas, no good that time either. Timberwolves leading by 13. Here is Tolliver. Jang, a screen. Knocked loose. Tolliver kicks to Teague. Shoots over Matthews, and there are the Timberwolves with another bucket.
Exceptional play across the board. I love their tenacity, just piling it on at this point.
You know, and the beauty is it hasn't just been offense, right? It's been the defensive end as well. They're firing on all cylinders right now.
Here is Matthews after the made shot from Jeff T.
Yeah, really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Nothing they're doing on the defensive end is working. They've got to figure something out, and fast.
Now here's Jang. Out of bounds. It'll be Mavericks ball.
Dallas ball.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Powell's checked in. And then for Minnesota, Towns, he's checked in for Gorgie Dang. Wiggins comes in for Anthony Tolliver. And it's Jimmy Butler in for Derrick Rose. Mavericks trail by 15. Smith on the wing. Dishes to Doncic. Out to Smith. And there's the 3-second violation. Here's a look at the schedule now for Dallas. They'll defend home court against the Chicago Bulls. Then on Wednesday, they'll head out on the road to face the Hawks in Atlanta.
And for that Raptors game, there aren't many other meetings that are as evenly matched as this one. Both teams can give and take punches, and this one, I think, is going to come down to the wire.
Here's Gibson, and that one hits back iron. The Mavericks have gone just 33% from the field in the fourth quarter so far. They are 2 of 6. Here's Matthews. The teardrop falls in. Matthews has got 4 points in the quarter.
That soft floater. That is nice by Wes Matthews. So effective dropping it over the defense.
Teague, the pass to Butler. Wiggins kicks to Teague. Drains the three-pointer. Teague's got 10 points in just the second half.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Teague against Smith. And here is Doncic, and the dunk by Doncic.
Creative at finding ways to just cut inside there. Doncic, a guy you must keep your eyes on.
Minnesota with the ball. They're on a 13-4 run. Teague kicks to Butler. It's good. That's 8 baskets for him now. 8 for 15 shooting.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Right, really a disappointing effort on the defensive end, not offering any challenge at all at the cup.
Now here's Powell, and stolen by Butler. Wiggins trying to free himself up, and again it's Minnesota.
We call that the stop and pop, one of Butler's best tricks for losing a defender. That is nice.
There's the pick. Now here is Smith, outside Matthews. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. Smith's got his 7th assist in the game.
Lined it up and knocked it down, his 2nd triple tonight.
T kicks to Butler. Gibson the screen. Butler against Matthews. Butler shoots off the screen. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. Count the basket. 26 points for Wesley Matthews.
Well, we know Wes Matthews is a dynamite scorer, relentless in how he goes right at the defense from any number of angles.
Now here's Teague. Now Butler. The feed to Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
Well, this is why Butler has become a real threat on the offensive end. Yes, he's a great scorer, but he is equally capable and adept at finding the open guy.
Smith against Teague, and stolen by Wiggins. And here we go, fast break. Wiggins has got it, and the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
Oh, that's great D there. A little petty larceny as he just picks his pocket and takes it coast to coast for the finish.
And Jimmy Butler's a very physical wing, as we know, Greg. Goes about 6'8", 240, and he can D-up almost any position.
And the strength to deal with forwards, the quickness to cover guards. Also, he uses that strength to attack the rim and get himself to the line.
Free throw good, Wiggins. Mavericks trail by 18. Smith dishes to Jordan. Passes it to Matthews. Jordan kicks to Powell. Dallas moving it around. Kept alive. Tries again. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And this spot has always been Jordan's biggest drawback. He's never been able to make his free throws at even a modest rate, and teams are never afraid to put him on the line.
Too soft.
And he makes the first. J.J. Barea is checked in for Dennis Smith. And he makes the first, but misses the second. And, Greg, what's not to like about Taj Gibson?
I mean, he's a hard worker defensively, finishes well inside, he's got the mid-range shooting touch. But what I like most, really, his unselfishness. He started, came off the bench, no complaints. This is a guy that just wants to win.
Here's Doncic. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Barea with it. And Gibson over to help. 4 on the clock. Dallas, no good that time either. Timberwolves leading by 19 points. Outside Butler. Gibson with the screen on Matthews. Teague with a clean look. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. The pass to Barea. Here's Doncic. Andrew Wiggins grabs the board. Wiggins has got his third rebound tonight. Wiggins drawing the double team. Here's Gibson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Wiggins. Wiggins has got his third assist on the night. The Mavericks have gone only 6 of 14 from the field in the fourth. Powell with the screen. Barea kicks to Powell. Now here's Doncic, covered by Wiggins. Back to Powell. And here's Barea over Teague. And misses it off the right side of the rim. Wiggins outside. Indoors last summer, we saw the inaugural season of the NBA 2K League. Over half the league's franchises fielding teams. It looks to be the start of something very special and very unique.
No doubt, Kevin. And the NBA has always been an organization at the forefront of embracing technology. And the reality is there is a huge market for this. The younger generation gets just as excited with how their virtual home team is doing in the standings. Big things on the horizon for the NBA 2K League. And you better not square up against me, Kev. You got no shot.
Okay, I've recorded that comment. And the Mavericks call time here.
You know, my guess right now is Coach wants to talk over this turnover issue. And it seems like they've been trying to force things a bit and need to find a steady rhythm offensively.
And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Jeff Teague.
And what an amazing ball game we've seen from him. It's been a one-man show worth the price of admission all by itself. There wasn't anything he couldn't do on that court tonight.
Teams need contributions from everybody to win on the road, not just the stars. And he's done more than his share tonight. An outstanding performance. Powell, the pass to Jordan. Jordan sets the pick for Doncic. Pass to Powell. 6 to shoot. Barea against Teague. And it's J.J. Barea with the three. Barea's got 20 points.
That consistency from distance, that's something J.J. Barea has worked on, and you can see the results here.
Towns sets the pick for Teague. And there's the call on DeAndre Jordan. That's his 5th foul.
That's his 5th personal foul.
.157 left in the fourth quarter. Butler up top. He's covered by Matthews. The kick out to Teague. Shot clock at 2. Wiggins from outside.
And it's just encouraging to see Luka step up on defense. Must continue to bring that type of intensity.
And here's Matthews from the arc. Rebound, Minnesota. Wiggins has got his 5th rebound in this one.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for the Timberwolves.
The one area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
I think it sparked their offense. It deflates the opposition, and when you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's pretty hard to overcome that defensive pressure down the stretch.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
And while there was some nice performances tonight, it definitely ended up being a solid outing for Jeff Teague.
Boy, forget about his stats for a second, right? What impressed me most was his stamina. It seemed like he was involved in every play. And with that kind of activity, I don't know how you don't wear down.
Now here's Wiggins. Following the miss by Taj Gibson, that one goes in.
I'll tell you, when you're the visiting team, it can be hard to maintain focus, but not tonight.
No, I think that they've been locked in during this game. They didn't let the opposing crowd get to them at all. This has been pure domination.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. Here's Teague. And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an efficient performance at both ends.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Jimmy, how confident are you that you guys can build on this win and keep the momentum going?
Very confident. Like I said, we got a great group of guys. If we play together, play hard, we can win.
I know you'll like to keep that going as we go on in the season. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. So long, everyone.